Hey everybody, it's Calvin the Go here, and I am here discussing One Piece Chapter 1072 spoilers. Also, yes, I am in a car. My family's very loud, and I thought it'd be easier just to record out here. But anyways, the title of the chapter is The Weight of Memory, and on the cover story we have Queen, Judge, and Caesar, and they are creating weapons. First of all, I think it's really cool that during this little Germa cover story that we are getting a lot of information on Mads. We're getting to see a little bit of flashbacks because a lot of the things that is in this flashback or this little flashback in the cover story were things that I kind of wanted to see during the fight with Queen Sanji and Queen potentially. We could have maybe got things with Judge. I know we didn't even know what Maz was back then. Same thing with Caesar. So we I was wondering when we were ever going to actually get a little bit of a backstory when it comes to the Mads and kind of how they formed together, how they fell through. I wonder if we're going to get to see like why um all of them kind of ended up hating each other at the end of the day. If maybe Vegapunk betrayed them, maybe Judge, Queen, whatever. I want to see how Queen became a member of the Beast Pirates, how we met Kaido. There's a lot of things that I want to see that I think we just never got to really get information on when it comes to the Mads group. And I'm really excited to see what happens here. Also, I'm kind of wondering if this is like the end of like the actual. I know this is the Germa cover story, but I wonder if this is the actual end of like the Germa part of the cover story. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, considering we haven't got a lot of Germa stuff ever since it started this little flashback, I'm starting to wonder how long will the flashback actually last? Because I think it'll be a while because the last one with the terrible one with the beige and I don't want to go into that. But anyway, I'm really excited about this cover story. We've got a little bit of decent tidbits. We saw the Aokiji thing. I mean, there's been so many revelations that's been happening, and it's starting to affect things in the story. So I think there's a decent possibility that one of the things in the Mads flashback is going to be talked about in the current story. Since they're creating weapons, maybe some kind of weapon. There's a plethora of things that it could be when it comes to the conclusion of the cover story and what Oda is really trying to portray here. It could just be a little bit of flashback just to give us more mad things, but Oda likes to have a big point when it comes to these kind of things because the last one, the main point was okay. Uh, we see what's his face survive. You know what I'm saying? Pound. Yeah, we saw Pound survive. That kind of, unfortunately, I think it seemed like the whole point of that cover story was getting Pound to be alive and meeting up with his family again, and that's cool. But ruined the whole sacrifice. But neither here nor there. I'm talking about the cover story way too much, but that's something I'm really interested in, and I'm really excited to see what happens next with that. All right, next, the start of the chapter, there is a little flashback. Vegapunk explains that Kuma's power turns intangible things into tangible things, like he did with Luffy's pain in Thriller Bark. And this to me kind of goes back to Kuma's Devil Fruit. Like, it is insanely broken, right? Like, the fact that he can turn untangible things into tangible things, and we knew we could with the pain, but we weren't really sure what the capabilities of something like that is. And to me, his fruit kind of reminds me a little bit of something like Luffy's, where it's kind of like an imagination thing. I'm trying to say, like for example, could Kuma take the depression from someone? Can he just take actual feelings, or does it have to be physical? Like it's really it's hard to for me to even comprehend the kind of things that he can do. Right? Um, this fruit is one of the most versatile we've ever seen. So I think it's gonna be insane when if F's Bear really starts to fight against us, we're really gonna see the capability of Kuma's fruit because as everyone knows, we never really got to see the prime of Kuma in the current timeline. We never got to see like Kuma in like the Sabo flashbacks per se. We always kind of saw a modified, seemingly lesser version of Kuma because if he really was like spamming his love fruit and doing all the different things that we know he can do, I think it'd be insanely impossible to fight him. I don't even think Zoro would have got that Shishi Sansan off on him if he was in his prime. I think he's just kind of like a lesser version of himself current day as he has the robotic modifications. Maybe one day he'll get his mind back and be able to fight like he used to, but in my opinion, I think he is severely nerfed compared to what he used to be because I think if we were talking about Akuma in his prime, where he had all his tools, where he had haki, because think about it, he was with Dragon and Ivankov, so he must have decent haki on top of the Devil Fruit. Obviously, we never saw haki from current day Kuma, but in my opinion, someone super powerful, bordering, excuse me, bordering admiral level in my opinion. But we will see what happens with Kuma or S Bear, because I don't think we're ever gonna see the real Kuma have a truly serious fight, in my opinion. Maybe we'll get some kind of flashback or something, but neither here nor there. But okay, the next part of the chapter is Kaku uses his awakened form against Zoro, although Zoro defeats him. What is up with this? Honestly, it's not surprising though. Like seeing how things happen with Luffy. Um, you could say it's a parallel. Oh yeah, like Awakened Zone, and then they get low diff. Like honestly, in my opinion, when it comes to Kaku, uh, Awakened Zone or not, I don't I don't see Zoro doing commanders like this. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess if you use Dead Man's Game or whatever, or if you use certain attacks, maybe. But I don't see Zoro beating commanders that easily. Like clearly he's a first commander level opponent, but like how strong is Kaku? I don't know. Kaku might be like a who's who type of guy. Like I don't know. Maybe even not that, because at least Huzu was compared to Rob Lucci at one point. I think it's obvious that Kaku never was on the level, especially when they gave the Doriki kind of thing. Um, Obviously, we know that Doriki never really went anywhere, but they showed that there was a pretty decent gap between someone like Lucci and someone like Jabra or Kaku, even though they were relatively equal in terms of that, right? Um, yeah, I wonder what kind of techniques Zoro use. The only thing that can maybe give Kaku some saving grace is that if he uses some Conqueror's coding attacks, but if he doesn't really go all out, if it's a little bit similar to how Luffy was able to coast Lucci, where it seemed like he wasn't using Conqueror's Haki, he wasn't really using armament that much. He used armament like one punch, or maybe he was using the invisible armament. But regardless, it didn't seem like he was using Ryu or coding. Like there was a bunch of things that I really could have done. Like for example, if he used Badringa, obviously he wasn't going to use that on someone who he saw as inferior to him, clearly. But yeah, honestly, Lucci got beat badly, but he really could have got beaten worse. Um, and I think it makes sense that if Kaku probably is gonna get up and kind of heal, like Kaku probably was is going to heal exactly like Lucci did. Awakened Zoans, they just get right back up. I wonder if this is why. I wonder if this is why Oda never gave the commanders or any of the Flying Six awakened zones, because it's kind of hard to even give them away unless they like actually kill them, show that they actually brought down an awakened zone, because they in theory could just get up and up and up and never really go down, right? So that would be something annoying to handle, I'm assuming, when it comes to main fights from the story. And clearly these fights are so minor to Luffy and Zoro that they can't even be seen as main fights. So that's that. And this is a really interesting one. It is revealed that Stussy is a clone of a former member of the Rocks Pirates. Um, and one of the information says that it is Bakken. This is very out of left field, and I wonder if that's why the person that looked like Stussy was in that little in the Mads flashback. Clearly, it's Stussy now. I think that's kind of obvious. Maybe. I mean, because why else would they even talk about that? Stussy kind of seemed to know her way uh, around the island a lot. She knew, it was like, oh yeah, she did research, but it's like, how do you know everything when it comes to that? And another thing I want to talk about with the spoilers, guys. There's a lot of information I'm sure that's missed. Dialogue. I'm just kind of giving my. This is like the first bare knuckle raws. I'm going to do another video when the summary of the spoilers come out. I'll do another video on that. But this is like the very bare bones. It's like a very small summary. But I'm just giving my opinion, trying to make the video a little longer. But yeah, next week there's gonna be no break, which is really good. But a clone of Bakken, that's just one thing I'm kind of wondering. Like, why would you clone Bakken? this maybe gives onus to Bakken and the whole Whitebeard thing because uh, I'm not sure if it ever was really confirmed that Bakken was a member of the Rocks Pirates, but I think it's something that everyone inferred because I think they said something like she was a pirate like 40 years ago, blah blah blah, or on the same crew as Whitebeard. But we never saw her like us in a silhouette with the Rocks Pirates. It was just the main guys. It was Shiki. It was Whitebeard. It was Rocks, Big Mom Kaido. But this is really interesting. I wonder if we're gonna get more rock stings from. What's really cool about this though? That just means we have another person we can potentially get rock stings from. When it comes to Bakken and Weevil, maybe they're gonna be some kind of rocks Weevil thing. Maybe we'll actually get confirmed that Whitebeard actually had a relationship with Bakken and that actually was his kid, because a lot of people think that that wasn't really true because he seems kind of dumb or whatever. But maybe Weevil was some kind of genetically altered thing. I have no idea, but I think this kind of opens doors to new possibilities down the line. Anyway, it's Calvin the Go here. I hope you guys can like, share, and subscribe if you're new. And it is Calvin the Go. Peace out, guys. Have a good day.